Yo. Alright. It's been a minute. As usual. I procrastinate pretty hard. There's a fucking truck reversing outside, and the beeping is grabbing all my attention right now. Anyway, how you been? What's up? Father's Day passed. I don't know what else passed. Other things have passed. Juneteenth passed. It is today. Today is Tuesday, June. Oh, Prime Day alert on my phone. Don't care. Anyway, today's Tuesday, June 21st. It is the afternoon. I wanted to record this days ago. You've heard that before. I was going to try something totally different. I still might. So normally I have notes, right? Like I keep a bunch of notes, and I go off these notes in no order whatsoever. I assume I'll do it in order, and I don't. I'm always completely all over the place, and I forget a lot of shit. And like I told you once before, like when I finally hit record, and then I end it, and I post it or whatever, I go to shower, anything else, and I recall this, and I'm just like, wow, there's so much I didn't talk about, so many things that I wanted to say, so many things I wanted to expand on. Oops, I forgot this. And oh well, time moves on. So here we are. What's up? Welcome back. Is this an intro? Welcome to Falling in Love. I had a friend the other day tell another friend about this, and I cringed a little. I was like, oh no, please don't tell your friend to listen to this. And they couldn't remember the name. You know, they were like, what is it, like falling apart, or which is, you know, that works, but falling, whatever. And I never corrected them, but you know, sometimes I wonder if I should change the name. I probably won't. Surely if I ever speak to anyone else, I'll reiterate why I called it this, and I remember that. So yeah. And about speaking to anyone else, the same friend who, hey, if you listen to this, bro, you know I'm talking about you. But the same friend who almost at least once a week now at this point, we talk about, hey, yeah, let's do this. Yeah, hey, let's do this. And we never do. More recently, they approached me and pitched like, hey, fuck it, let's do it. Like, there's things I want to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, man, anytime, bro. And we still don't do it. We'll do other things. We'll play video games. We'll talk shit. But we don't do it. But that's around the corner. It's got to come soon, eventually, for sure. And I think people will like it. I don't know. I've got a quiet confidence about it. I think it'll be swell and probably long. Maybe. It has a chance of being like the first 2-hour thing I do or more. Fucking Joe Rogan style over here. But anyway, speaking of around the corner, this weekend of June the 20 whatever odd, I don't know what fucking day it is, but this Friday night I'll be out of town. I'm going to go on a road trip with a friend. We are going to Chicago, and it's for a wrestling show. Some of you might know I'm a wrestling nerd. I like wrestling. I don't watch it as much as I used to, but I still do keep up with it. It's for AEW, not WWE, because I know WWE is like the main title people think of, you know, kind of like MMA. People think UFC instead of calling it MMA. But anyway, it's an AEW show in Chicago, and it's a pretty big event. It's a crossover with another promotion, and it should be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to getting out of town. This all might be a blur, which, whatever. You know, I shouldn't really get my hopes up really high. I should just chill, and I'm looking forward to it. So that'll be fun. We're staying in a really small Airbnb that he picked out. It looks like a broom closet. I made fun of it recently to him. If it is a broom closet, hey, cool, whatever. But if it's not a broom closet and it surprises me, that's even better. So yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. It seems that the host of the Airbnb, it seems like they're going to be home still, which makes me feel a little weird. And I think there's a shared bathroom, which makes me feel even a little weirder because it's the weekend. I'm going to assume those people are going to be home. Maybe, is it a family? I don't even know who these people are or what to expect. But you know, if I got to shower or poop or something, and like fucking Gary is using the bathroom or he's got to go to work. Like it's this very strange potential conflict. Not that we're gonna like fight. Like, I'm gonna take a shit, Gary. God, no, but really, it's just a little weird. I'm not sure what to expect from that. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the show. Looking forward to just getting out of town. Curious to see what it's like in a different state, even though Chicago is another city. It's not exactly New York. So little curiosities like, how are people going to be with masks? Like, are they going to be everywhere like they are in my area here? Is it going to be super maskless? Maskless? You know, what's it going to be like in the arena? I'm mostly going with the thought that I'll be without my mask, but that's assuming that I get beyond all the other you know, overthought self analysis shit, anxiety nonsense, you know, like how I look, how I feel about my body, my fucking hair, like my face in general. Like, I was just growing a beard for like the last 2 weeks. No particular purpose, straight up laziness, to be honest with you. Straight up laziness. Wasn't even trimming it, just growing a beard. I just shaved it yesterday, and I don't know. I don't know what to compare this to, but like I just stare at myself in the mirror. Like, should I have shaved it? Like, I'm getting older. Should I keep it? Like, should I learn how to style it? You know, like the friend I'm going with. Interesting. I've seen pictures of him when he was younger, and he had no facial hair. He's a pretty good-looking guy, like really good-looking guy. And I don't know at what age or what time of his life he decided to grow a goatee, but he has like a very consistent, pretty neat goatee, and it totally fits him. And I've never asked him about it, never talked to him about it. I'm debating recording in the car, which might be an audio disaster. But yeah, I don't know, weird random shit I thought of. Like, like when do people decide to grow a goatee and how do they know it's gonna fit them? Because when I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm gonna shave and you do goofy shit, like I have a photo somewhere on my phone where I've shaved about 3/4 of my face and I have like just a mustache and then like half of my face with a beard. I've done, you know, the old, you know who I'm talking about. I'll give you a second to think about it. Yep, I've done that, you know, just to fuck around. I've done a traditional goatee. I just think I look weird. My dad has a goatee. Most of my uncles, actually, one of them's barefaced. The other one has a goatee. Whatever. I don't know. Facial decoration. It's not my thing, you know? And then you look at some wrestlers. Like, do you know the name Jeff Hardy? Like, look up Jeff Hardy. Which, by the way, when you look him up, you might not find good news. Just had a DUI. That guy's a fucking mess. But he's got these, like, zigzaggy Wolverine claw looking fucking designs in his beard. It's... I don't know. I'm not fucking artistic with my face, I guess. But anyhow, moving on. More random news without much detail to it. My dad just had a stroke that came out of nowhere. I don't know exactly how long ago, but he did message me last weekend. And he sent me a text just giving me that brief update, like, hey, by the way, just want to let you know that he had a stroke. It had nothing to do with his heart. As I preface here, I don't really know about strokes, so whatever it is that he told me, I ended up Googling it afterwards because I felt like, you know, maybe as most people would, that I wasn't told everything. So whatever he told me, I took the terms and such he gave me and I went to Google. Now, do I remember what the terms are that he told me? No. Will I look back at my phone right now? No. But he said it was something to do with his cranial something cranial, and it didn't sound good regardless. If it's not to do with your heart, it still didn't sound good that it was cranial. And I looked it up, and I think what I read from the definition was something like a blood clot, and it just didn't sound good. You know, if you're curious, of course you can look it up yourself, but it didn't sound good. He claims he's fine now. It's been just over a week. I had intent on visiting him, but he kind of and I'm not knocking him for saying this, so excuse me, you know. But he just kind of was like, yeah, maybe another time when I get back from vacation. Not me, him. He's on vacation now. I already forgot where he went even. But he told me he's on a vacation now. So he took time off from work due to the stroke deal, and then went on vacation shortly after. And then he asked me to visit him on July 4th weekend. I'm not really the biggest holiday guy. I got a few problems with this, you know, which I didn't say to him because I don't want to fucking just conflict bullshit. But it's like, dude, 4th of July weekend, a fucking holiday. Come on. Like, I don't really travel as it is. Says the guy going to Chicago for a wrestling show. You get the point. But yeah, 4th of July weekend, you know? And like New York City Transit's not doing so fab. Like literally, if you Google NYC subway, at least I did this about 4 days ago, and the Google feed is pretty much murder, robbery, assault, slashing, suicide, just almost day after day after day after day of some shit. And I'm not really looking forward to taking public transit on a gigantic holiday through a mutated area of town that I think he lives in. And I'm just not feeling it. I don't know. Even if someone picked me up, let's delete public transit from the whole conversation. Remove public transit. Let's say someone picked me up or I took an Uber or something. Do I really want to be there for 4th of July weekend? Not really. Not really. I kind of wanted to just arrive on a casual, regular day without the holiday hoopla, you know what I mean? And reading his text was sad. I mean, you ever get bad news from someone who's close to you, even though we don't speak much, to be honest? He's crossed my mind a few times. I would assume I've crossed his mind. He's crossed my mind a few times recently, and then that's the text that I get, you know, it's about a stroke, and it just gets a little weird and gets a little sad. And, you know, he tries to give me this confident, morale boosting sort of message, you know, that he's been a fighter all his life. And he has, you know, the guy has I don't know the right term, but he's got a, you know, the ticker where his heart should be. He's got the mechanical deal. And he's had, I think, like 2 heart surgeries or something. Like, he's been an athlete when he was younger. Been through a lot of shit. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. But something hits a little harder when the source speaks to you and you know, tries to when their guard is lowered and they soften up and vulnerabilities are shown. It just hits you a little different, a little harder. So of course I hope he's okay. You know, I just worry naturally because like strokes aren't something to just shrug off. Like I believe there's a pretty high chance of like cognitive issues, right? Like memory loss might become a thing, and he's older. The guy's not 70, but he's older. He's had diabetes for dozens of years now. If I'm exaggerating that slightly, whoops, but I know he's had diabetes for a mega long time. And he's always looked good. He looks younger than what he is. Then again, I haven't seen him since COVID, maybe a little before COVID. And if that has shown me anything by looking at my own face, time flies and you prune up pretty quick. And I look like quite I look like a potato. that's it. So that's the other news. I have been addicted to League of Legends for the last few days. It's a computer game. I don't even know if I should expand. I mean, should I? I don't know who in my audience is a gamer, or more particularly a PC gamer, but League of Legends has quite the reputation for being toxic, its community being toxic. And I've experienced that because my last login, when I looked at this game, my last login was 2018. And I remember really wanting to play it. And I remember doing terrible because I didn't know what I was doing. And someone in the chat was just fucking telling me I suck. and that's never fun, especially when it's a stranger and it's a text chat. It's like, God's sake, bro, like I'm just trying to learn the game, like chill out. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what turned me off of the game, but now I'm back on it, and maybe with thicker skin, or maybe I just have a better mind. I don't know. I'm more prepared to understand the game and perform at my best, and it's been pretty fun. Team fight tactics is dope. It's like a sub game within the game. Whatever. I just really like League of Legends right now. I'm really into League of Legends. It's pretty fucking good. If you are too, let me know. We can suck together, bro. Yeah, that's that. Also, hey, you know what? Maybe if I could get on a topic and learn how to space it out, maybe if I had ads. But it's only been 15 minutes and we're like on topic 6. So, Stranger Things. I don't know how late I am to the party. And I don't mean Stranger Things season 1. I mean Stranger Things the current season. And I won't spoil anything for you because it's a pretty fucking good show. I know very few people who said they could not get into it from season 1, which is very surprising, especially when the 2 people who told me they couldn't get into it are board game nerds, because the show does have like Dungeons and Dragons references. And granted, there's a helicopter outside. Granted, the show has a bunch of kids, so maybe it's an age thing for them. I don't know, but it's a pretty fucking good show. You know, a good balance of like humor, mystery, and whatever. Season 4 though, the most recent season. Just watched the last episode a day or 2 ago. Honestly, I fell asleep a little bit because it was like 3 a.m. Whoops. But the whole lead up to that last episode was great. I loved the show. I spaced it out on purpose. I didn't want to binge watch it hardcore. I don't know how people do that. I guess I could if I was like with someone, like if I had a girlfriend or like a group of friends, something to lock me in. So, rather someone, like a shared experience. For sure, I could have binge watched it, but I didn't. Not really my thing. So I'll watch an episode or so like before bed. But anyway, it's great. It's great. It's a little darker, but it's great. I've heard from some people that the increased darkness, which is not very long lasting, it kind of comes in these spurts, like scared them. So it kind of teeters on the horror a little bit, but it's very brief. Like it's much more drama, mystery, and then a little bit of horror. And, you know, just kind of leaves you wondering like, oh shit, like what's next? Or, oh my God, how? Still has a touch of comedy, still cool. The kids are older. The quote unquote issues are like a little bit more realistic. You know, granted, they're like, I think in real life, they're all practically 20 and above. But in the show, what are they, like 15, 16, right? 18 at best. Their characters. But anyway, it starts touching on like some real feelings, like relationship difficulties, you know, bullying, and honesty, you know, honesty, like clarity, communication, here and there. It's not a huge show about morals, but it's enough to thread the moments, you know, like between the moments there's these threads of like emotional stuff, and it's pretty good. Anyway, the final episode of this current season is great. Good. I had no wild assumptions about who or what or this or that, other than like death. You know, I thought things would happen, whether they did or didn't, or who they did or did not happen to. That's about it. But I had no idea who the villain was. I've avoided spoilers entirely. Just pretty fucking good show. And the ending really surprised me. Really good. Really, really goddamn good. Really, really fucking good. Came full circle. Yeah, wow. There's more to come. I think July 1st, they said. Is it? I think the first week of July is a better way to put it. The first week of July, I think there's another episode or 2 coming, and I was told by a friend that they'd be like 2 hours long or something. So, and I think this is due to the whole COVID issue, like production and whatnot and whatever. But Really good. If you've never watched Stranger Things, I'd recommend you check it out. Just try it. Try it, stick with it, give it a chance. Unless you're like, fuck this show entirely, I get it, my bad. But the most recent season, fucking, there's so many helicopters going by. That's like the third one. I'm lying, it's the second one, but I want to say it's the third one because so many does not really count for two. So, yeah. So yeah, Stranger Things, my dad, Chicago. My exercises, they've been going pretty well. I think I'm not plateauing on like the weight. What do you call these things? I have kettlebells. I don't know if I said that before. I have two kettlebells. One's a 15 pound, one's a 25 pound. It doesn't sound like much, but trust me, the weight difference is fucking Sorry, helicopter. This is a strange episode if like something crazy happens and I'm like, oh, the helicopters, and fucking, shit goes down. Anyway, huge weight difference from 15 to 25 when you're doing these exercises. If you don't think so, go fuck yourself. They're fucking huge differences. So I haven't quite plateaued. I've done a bit better with certain moves that I struggled with. I follow along on YouTube. I think I mentioned that before. There's this woman, Caroline Girvan. I spelled her name wrong before too. It's Girvan. I forgot the R last time. Caroline Girvan. Girvan. She has a whole series of YouTube videos from like bodyweight training to dumbbell training to kettlebell exercises. She has her own like HIIT program. She has a variety of things, and it's hard not to really like watching her videos if you have any like motivation for fitness. They're such good follow-alongs. She's on the screen performing them, of course, like if you're at a gym or whatever, I guess, and you can see your instructor in front of you. And just there's timers, and when it's time for things to end or begin, there's significantly audible beeps, like beep, 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 and you can't miss it. And she has her own music to go along with it, and it's pretty fucking good. In between exercises or sets or whatever, there's a preview on screen to let you know, like, hey, this is what's coming up. So during breaks, 30-second breaks, 45-second breaks, whatever the fuck the break is, there's also a prompt on screen to let you know what's coming up. It's so well done. So well done. I love following along with her. I gotta try different shit. But anyway, I use her for the kettlebell exercises, and they've been going pretty well, sweating my brains out. I'm taking a day off today. I have to maybe tighten up the schedule. I've been trying to do different exercises recently. I have favorites already. I definitely have favorites, but I know I need to mix it up and such, because most of her exercises for me feel like they're lower body, and I'm not really looking to get like the fattest ass in the world. So I kind of want to do some upper body, some more core stuff. And that's where I think I need to drop the kettlebell stuff here and there and start shifting into the body weight things and the cardio programs and stuff. But that's been really good. I dig it. So, and you don't need weights. Again, go to her. You don't need weights for these exercises. There's a lot more that she offers that do not require weights if you do not have weights or have no interest in weights. So we've also have my running. I've been running for a little over a month now. This I can pull up on my phone because I think this will make more sense to pull up on my phone. I've been running for a little over a month. I'm gonna try to find the exact date if possible. Let's see. So is that March? That is March. Wow, did you know from July, August, September, October, November, it spells my name, Jason. The first letter of the month spells Jason. I'm gonna be a nerd and screenshot that now, because is it my ego? Do I just love myself? I've never noticed. This is incredible. Anyway, made that up. Not even a real song. Sounds like shit. So I started in March, and is getting the exact date worth it? We're scrolling. Nope, that's October 2020. Holy shit. So I stopped in October 22nd, 2020. And then I started again on April 16th, 2021. That is a massive break. And then I did it again in August 2021. And I took another massive break up until this May 6th, 2022. This is the most consistent I've ran in about, oh man, 4 years? 6 at worst. I think 6 years ago I started, and then 4 years ago I really just hit a brick wall. So in about 4 years, this is the most consistent I've ran. So since May 6th of this year, I have ran a total of, or run a total of 25 miles. 16 runs, 25 miles. It's not that much. A total time of 4 hours and 44 minutes. That's pretty terrible. I think it's pretty terrible. It's 25 miles, 25 and a half miles, 16 runs for 4 hours. Just 4 and a half. These numbers, I'm getting tongue tied, my mouth is dry. But what I'm getting at is, so I started in May, whatever, I already forgot the date. May, what, 16th, 26th? I don't know, whatever, May. I started in May of this year, and I did terrible. I felt good beginning it because it's been so long that my legs feel somewhat fresh, but that illusion is quickly shattered because after about 2 to 3 minutes, whether it's pains or exhaustion, readjusting the way I breathe in and breathe out, keeping your gait like stable, just what I've learned to love about exercising, and not just in this period, like many years ago, is as you put your body through the punishment and you're really set on completion as best as you can, when your muscles, your joints, whatever, start to hurt or feel tired, and you start thinking, man, I can't do this, oh, this is hard, and maybe you're sweating your brains out, maybe you can't breathe very well, like there's a lot of things to take into account. And what I've loved about it is there are moments of clarity that, assuming you pay attention to it and you don't beat yourself up with your mind first, if you pay attention in these moments, you can feel your steps so much more differently. You can feel the muscle that's being used for that step or for that stretch, for that push. You can use other parts of your body, and your mind is crucial in this, to get through it. So like if my shins are aching for some reason, and I know, okay, they're just aching, they're not going to fall apart, and I'm thinking about how my ankles are moving and my steps, and I've got to actually use my full leg, like my thighs, and not just smash onto my knees. Like I need to do bigger strides perhaps, which seems like more work, but it will give me a break in some way. Like I'll do a bigger stride, and that bigger stride will give my feet, my ankles, my shins a bit of relief. And for the briefest of moments, like if I only just do a bigger stride for 10 seconds, that can go so much further along the way, where I can stretch it out for like another 2 minutes. Breathing, if I can manage my breathing, things change for better or worse. Posture, everything just plays such a different little role. And maybe it's my body in emergency mode and I'm falling apart and I'm just trying to hold the machine together, But the same goes for the weights. Like there's things I do with my weights where you don't want to hurt yourself, but when you're doing motions and they're being done successfully and properly, you start to recognize, oh, that is the group in my arm, my shoulders, whatever, that's doing the work. And when you can acknowledge and feel like, there's the point of success, like there is that's what's doing the work. when you notice, oh, it's that's what's getting me through this, and you can focus on it and take care of it and push through, and it just feels good. And I love that about exercise, the things you learn about your body, you know. And that happens even when you're not exercising. Like if you really just find time to pay attention to your body throughout the day, like you'll discover things, and it's lovely. And hopefully you're not beating the shit out of it like I currently am. I'm being a potato today. Granted, I had burgers and broccoli. That's all I've had today. But I've had no water, and I've just had a Monster Zero, the white can, and I've been sipping at this can all morning. And I should get some fucking water because my mouth is dry as a rock right about now from all this talking. Anyhow, about the running. So, started running in May of this year, and it's taken just about a month, a little over a month. 16 runs. So let's say every other day I'm running. Not exactly every other day, but I mean, just according to the numbers, that's actually not even every other day. I'm terrible at math. I've ran about a quarter of the time for the last 2 months. So, look, whatever, man. I'm not good at math here, okay? You can figure this out. 16 runs over a completed 2-month period, and it sucked. It was rough. It made me reconsider my diet. I tried to cut out some junk food. I've eaten far less candy than ever. I used to be a big potato chip slut. I still am a big potato chip slut, but potato chips have drastically fallen off the table for me. I'll still munch on them when I feel like it, trust me. Like I had a giant pizza yesterday. So is that potato chips? No, but my point is it's delicious. But I really cut down a lot of bullshit. I've been taking some supplements, not like steroids and shit, but I mean like little general things like vitamin C and zinc and like fish oil pills and like turmeric and whatever, you know. Try not to overeat. Try not to eat late or big late. Yeah, less sugar in general. It depends. It's whatever. It's all a delicate balance. Everyone's different, you know. So within this period, I was not doing better, I thought. My times were terrible. I was hitting like maybe 11-ish minutes per mile. That's pretty bad for me. I think it's probably more average than people think, but I think it's pretty bad. And it hurt. It hurt so much. Like my shins, my ankles, my knee was flaring up. I had this weird like nerve or muscle problem in my thigh, like pretty high up towards my groin, you could even say, and it wasn't from lifting at all. It was just a lack of mobility, maybe because I sat too much, and I've never had that problem before. Like stretching and lack of mobility was never a problem. And granted, I'm much older now too, so those are things that I had to figure out. Like when I was doing the weight training and I began running more and I started stretching more, like, okay, like I need this problem to fix. Like this is a wall in the way. And the pain has gone away. It's not 100% gone, but man, it is incredibly different. Like I can actually not freak out if I like lift my knee up like to my chest or something, you know. Anyway, progress. So was doing terrible about 11-ish minutes, and then a little bit chipping it away a little bit from like 11 to like 10:50, from like 10:50 to like 10:45, and then some days I do terrible and go back to 11, and then knock it back down to 10:40 for a mile, and then like 10:42, 10:41, go back to 11 minutes, and then knock it back down again to like 10:30. My point is now, over this time, I've gotten it down to about 10:10 or less, so a whole minute improvement, which is fucking lovely. Might not sound like much to some people. To me, that is a huge deal. I got a whole fucking minute down. That is, and it doesn't feel like that when I'm out there and I'm huffing and puffing and I feel like, oh, again, like I'm going so slow, I'm doing terrible. And then I check the time at the end and I did a whole minute faster. Holy fuck. It's hard to believe in the moment. I'm like, holy shit. And I feel relief. And then instead of being lazy and thinking, okay, I did it. And I don't recommend this. Like, I'm not trying to say, okay, I did it, you know, fuck it, let me just stop. I don't think that's a good move unless you're really in miserable pain. But if I feel decent, okay, cool, I'll take a breather. Whether it's 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, just walk it off. Don't stop moving. You want to walk it off. Do not stop moving. You do not want to stop moving. I'm not trying to say keep running. Just walking is fine. So I'll take a breather, I'll drink some water or whatever, and if I feel decent, I'll go again. And it might not be for long. It might only be 30 seconds, might be a minute, but like I'll keep kind of pushing it and like not reside in comfort. And quitting is too strong of a word, but I don't want to stop unless I need to stop. So that's helped. And struggling from doing 1 mile to now I can do like 2 to 2.5, you know? And I'd like to get to a steady 3, which I think is right around the corner. That's probably the next step. We'll probably get to a steady 3 miles per run. I'll probably get my time down to about 9:30 for a mile. And that's a really good start, a good sign, whatever. I'd be very happy with that. In comparison to what I used to hit 4 to 6 years ago. 4 to 6 years ago, when I began, I would hit around 9 minutes-ish. And as I ran a lot and I ate way better and I was much more active. I was walking a ton. Like I was probably walking a mile, mile and a half a day, and then running anywhere from 2 to 3 miles every other day. On a really good day, running 5 miles, whatever. The best I hit was probably 6:40 to 7 minutes. And I could pretty regularly hit 7 minute-ish. Pretty fucking swell. I could go at a full sprint. Like, it's amazing to look back and a little sad to think of how I could do full stride sprints and not huff and puff and feel this like euphoric, like I'm off the ground type of thing. Not that I'm floating and shit, like I'm not the Flash, but I mean, wow, like what a difference. So yeah, man, if you don't do shit for a long time, you might not think you're beating yourself up or there's much of a difference, but there has been a significant difference. And diet's pretty big. Diet, laziness, lack of activity. I think if you're walking every single day, that is a huge positive. Although plateauing is legit. Like just because you walk a mile a day, it's not everything. Like your body just gets used to shit. And I think my body was really, really used to being active, and I would push it, and then I would not do anything. And again, throughout COVID time and everything, my body became very complacent, doing nothing. And wearing the mask, not to be all anti-mask or whatever, just fuck off with that shit. But I'm just saying, wearing a mask as well, like it changed my breathing. I feel like my lungs got weaker. Like, yeah. Breathing wasn't the same. Lack of activity, poor diet. So, if anything, I feel like I'm pulling myself out of a ditch. Like I fell in the mud or something, and like I'm having to pull myself out, and it's pretty fucking hard. But I am very, very happy that I have made progress at all, because I was worried that I would beat myself up. I might injure my leg or something, because my leg has been pretty fucked up in the past. And thankfully, it's all been pretty good. And I think a really great counterbalance to this is the fact that I've been doing like the weight training at home with the kettlebells. Like I don't always have to force myself to run. I don't always have to force myself to do something. But the fact that there's a variety, and yeah, I need to implement the other plans from this YouTube that I've recommended, and I think it'll be pretty awesome. So that, and I might have to get a new yoga mat. I have been sweating my brains out on this yoga mat. I don't know. I need to look up if there's a way to clean yoga mats. I don't know. This is all new to me. But my yoga mat is looking like, I mean, it looks like I fucked on it, honestly. And I'm not talking like a particular color of stain. I'm just saying like it's, yeah. Yep. Anyway. So that's that. That's been a blast. Now beyond that, I don't know. I mean, let's see. Ooh, I'm looking at my phone now, and this was very different. This is over a week ago, June 21st. Isn't that today? That's today. Anyway, So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just read what I wrote. There's a big thing I wrote here one night from a dream that I had, and I just woke up and decided, let me write this down. I rolled over and just started typing. Another day, I guess I'll just read it and we'll see where this goes. In bold letters, with a little bit of a larger font size, it says, anyway, diagnose me. Recently and almost every day, to be honest, I find myself procrastinating or avoiding tasks, such as laundry or the supermarket, or cleaning my room, or applying for jobs. Whether it be by enjoying a routine I've picked up, like exercising or watching porn, or searching for the perfect podcast to play as a background filler while I intended to do the task I'm telling myself to get done, I seem to take the babiest of baby steps forward. I'll start thinking about food and debating if I should eat first before the task. I start picking apart my aesthetic and find things to complain about in my mind. I'll reload social media till I realize it's pointless and then possibly loop back to searching for a podcast. Today I've walked back and forth from the bathroom about 6 times already. My intent was to shower, shave, and go begin laundry. Then I can start cooking an early dinner and mosey on about however the rest of the day will go. But as of the time I'm writing this, I'm standing in my kitchen while some leftover pasta reheats on the stovetop. I needed to focus, which is ironic considering I'm doing everything else but showering, shaving, and organizing my laundry that needs to be done. So let's rewind back to the 6 or so visits to the bathroom that I mentioned. One time, I brought my supplies in, the razor, the soap, the shaving cream, etc. A second time, I came in with my clothes. Another time, I brought the charger for my electric shaver because it turns out the battery was dead. And then I went to my bedroom to throw out the trash from the small bin I keep in there, and then I plucked the peach gummy out from the bag of candy by my computer desk. I purposely took time to savor and enjoy it because I was sure that I wouldn't eat before my shower. I need to go shower. So I returned to the bathroom. And here's when I thought I would begin. But I didn't. I half stripped and did a little pre-trim while the shaver was plugged in. It couldn't reach anywhere I needed well enough though, so I brushed off the loose hairs and clothed myself again to then walk away. Again. I went back to the kitchen. I pulled out the leftover food that I earlier said I would place on the stovetop. I switched on the flame so it could begin. I need a drink, I'm sorry. So let's rewind here. This is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe this is the 5th or 6th time I've left the bathroom. I went to the kitchen and I pulled out the leftover food I had in the fridge. I switched on the flame so it could begin heating, and then plucked a few grapes from, like, I don't get the bag of grapes. I get like, there's like a plastic container. It looks like a big old rectangle tub. I started plucking grapes, and I love green grapes. Well, I like grapes in general, but the green grapes here are really fucking good. And then I went back to the bathroom, and I start to close the door. I examined my face for a while, and mind you, there's a podcast filling the background this whole time now that I'm finally here. And I'm listening to it, and I'm enjoying it. And I begin to take my shirt off, and then I start examining my body in the mirror. And then put my shirt back on, and I exit the bathroom again. But this time I paused my podcast because I decided to write all this out. This is a silly question, yet it's truly a wonder for why I can't get my shit together. What the hell is wrong with me? I don't know. But I think I've tossed away enough time now that my food is ready to eat, and I'm pretty excited for it. And then who knows if I'll stay on track. At the very least, I intend to shower and shave, and I would like to do my laundry, but as the day moves on and enters the late afternoon, my doubts again begin to grow. I don't want to do laundry in a crowded laundry room, or with a few and far apart machines available. I want my comfort. So I guess I'll just stand here again with the refrigerator open, and I don't know. That's that. Not exactly the most well-written thing. There's some errors there, which is why I stuttered and bobbled. But that day, yeah, like I said, I meant to go shower and shave and such, and I grabbed everything. I prepared everything, and every time I would go back to the bathroom and think, okay, this is it, I just didn't. I would leave. and I would find something else. Like my brain just started finding these routes to be like, let's do something else. And like, I'd be like, I guess I'm hungry, but I really wasn't. And then I'll start eating grapes, and I reheated pasta, and like, I started picking at candy, and I would look at myself and like pick at myself in the mirror and then leave again and just back and forth. And then I again hop on my phone, social media, recycle, reload, get off, look for another podcast, go back to the bathroom, look at myself again, think, oh shit, the food's ready. You know what I mean? Just this lack of focus. So what did I do that day? I did shower eventually. I did not shave. That was probably the beginning of me not shaving for 2 weeks. Was that day? I did not shave that day. I did shower. I did not do laundry. I ended up doing laundry maybe 2 days later. And it was a great, successful day. I did loads of laundry. And on top of that, I even did laundry at a much later time than I usually do. I try to do things early in the morning because, you know, most people are off to work and kids are at school and whatnot. But the day that I finally the day that I finally did decide to do laundry was maybe like 8 p.m. And oddly enough, I had no proper distractions. Like my friends weren't online. The one person who I do tend to go to for attention was ignoring me again. That's another story on the unreleased, potentially deleted podcast where I cry a bunch. No one was around, and I was home alone, and it's weird how that works when you don't have enough distractions and you're alone and maybe not the happiest, how you'll actually do things and whatever. That particular day, I did not do much at all of what I should have. And it's weird and it's a bummer. I've seen a lot online how it has to do with like some ADHD. Maybe that's an umbrella. You know, maybe it's much more than that, but I have no focus. I just can't. Look at this, you know? Like, I'm glad I'm finally doing this, but I tell myself to do this so much more than I actually do it. And as time goes by, I try to prep for it. And, you know, I'm not a celebrity, so whatever, right? It's all good. But I should... what's the word I'm thinking of here? An ex used it on me, and it was very appropriate at the time. I need it's escaping me. I need not motivation. Lord, can a fucking fairy pop up on my shoulder and just whisper it to me really quick? Not motivation, not dedication, discipline. It's a lack of discipline. A lack of discipline and strict like routine, you know, like ruling. Like I'm pretty willy-nilly. So yeah, it's rough. I can read about one more thing or two. I do have 3 more notes on here. I don't know if I'll read all 3, but another one is in other news, is it me or are we experiencing supermoons all the time now? I can't recall a single day before my adulthood where the word supermoon was mentioned. I've heard of eclipses and full moons and waxing and waning and gibbouses and crescents, but never supermoon. Now as an adult over the age of 30, I hear supermoon about once every 2 to 3 months. Even if I'm exaggerating the number, it's an epic difference from when I was younger. So what's going on? Are we getting closer to the moon? Is the moon getting closer to us? How does global warming and rising tides and celestial position all tie together? I don't know. But I noticed the big fat moon last night. It's one day before the supermoon listed date, right between the building that I live in and another beside it, on my way home from a late supermarket run. Sound familiar? I love the moon. I love when I would take my smoke breaks late at night and just stare at the moon. It's like a big hug for my eyeballs. I love focusing on the moon. I love drifting into my thoughts while staring at the moon. And it's very interesting and nice to notice how the brightness of the moon impacts everything. Like, unless you live under direct spotlights, the moon's glow is pretty considerable. You know, it illuminates everything, and I think it's pretty great. And that's that for that note. And I really do... I haven't smoked in so long. That's another thing I haven't done in a while. But I really do miss being on the balcony and smoking and just staring at the moon, especially now with like these warmer nights where I can just wear a light hoodie or just not deal with strong breezes and fucking freezing colds. But I do enjoy just like staring out at the moon in the night sky when I can relax. And I know I can do that anytime. I don't need to smoke, but smoking and that was just a nice little pair. So, but yeah, about supermoons. I feel like it's constantly, dude. Like I'm always hearing about supermoons. I've never heard of that when I was younger. So I just sometimes I wonder, like, what the hell's the big difference? What the fuck's going on here? Like, why is this term constantly being thrown around? That's all. I just don't understand it. But my God, it really does look huge. Like some nights, like right when the moon rises, and before it's in Carajo land, you know, at like 3 a.m. or something, sometimes the moon just looks gigantic. And I don't remember that ever when I was a kid, like ever. So, little wonders. Not to get all conspiracy theory bananas about it, but just saying, you know. What's up with the moon, bro? What is this? My final note I have here is actually not about a dream. It's actually about a really rough morning I had. This is before the Supermoon story. This is before the ADHD back and forth between the bathroom and everything else story. I don't recall writing all of this, so this might be the potential worst reading of the batch. It is longer though, so we'll just begin, all right? It begins with the title, There's a Special Torture in Car Alarm. Sorry, already fucked up. Take two? All right. There's a special torture in a car alarm loop. When I woke up and felt miserably tired, I knew, oh, that car alarm must have woken me up. Or was it my bladder? So I wrote Lee, it's a typo. So I go to pee and sleepily come back to my bed. I lay face down and decided, holy shit, there's tons of typos here. I go to pee and sleepily come back to my bed. I lay face down and decided easily to return to snoozing. I put on a podcast as background noise because even though I blame the noise from outside for waking me, I also need some kind of controlled noise on the inside. Something like being rocked as a baby, something I can put a comfortable volume level to and drift off from. But the car alarm keeps going. It's raining out, so for a second I think that maybe the reason this car is whining is that there must be some huge fat droplets hitting into this thing. What a sensitive car. Maybe it was stolen from. Maybe there's a busted window. Maybe the car is just crying out loud. This isn't too far-fetched considering the direction it is headed. What? Anyway. Although some form of direct... Oh, that's what I wrote. Let's restart that part. Maybe the car was stolen. Maybe there's a busted window. Maybe the car is just crying out loud. This isn't too far-fetched of an idea considering the direction that AI is headed in. Maybe it's some form of direct communication, like having an alert on loop on the owner's phone. That wouldn't be too bad of a feature to consider instead of all this hollering. So I begin to listen closer for the details. I'm trying to understand the pain of this car. And it turns out it's not just one car alarm sounding off. There's another car alarm going off in the distance. And it's one of those old school car alarms that seem to alternate between 5 or 6 of the most obnoxious sounds ever thought of during this time period. Sounds like awooga, awooga, and the error resembling eh. I never thought I'd sound these things out. And then there's the drawn out whoop. I said whoop. This is no different than when a dog barks, and now there's more barking. This is no different than a baby crying, and now there's more babies crying. And this complaint is a direct result of a complaint. Someone's sensitive ass car is howling because of someone else's retro alarm system. Eventually, it'll tire itself out, right? The looping horn will start to transform into another tone, and if it goes on long enough, the battery will be drained. It will change octaves like a voice that cracked mid-syllable. And here I am. I just wanted to go back to sleep, but now I'm singing along, syncing my breathing, and dedicating all of this to it. I wonder if the owner will check in on it. Is this what it's like to have a partner that you can't relate to? So close but so far. Is this what procrastination is like? Saying you'll do it later, but knowing you can just do it now. How long will this last? All right, probably not the cleanest writing again because I woke up at I don't know, 7 in the morning, which might be normal for a lot of people. But that car alarm was driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts. Can't deny the highlight of that writing though is my sound effects, huh? Right? So yeah, car alarms suck. If that got a bit clunky there, that was me for some reason just trying to make some like super obtuse connection with AI and cars, because like I was just starting to drift off into daydream town. Like, what if the car is crying? Like, what if the car has become sentient? And then the whole comparisons between babies and dogs is like, you ever like hear a little dog yap yap and then another dog starts yap yapping, or like a baby cries and more babies cry, and it seems like noise begets noise. It was something like that, where like one car alarm was fucking blaring and the other one was just like, me too, and they just kept going on and on and on. It felt like a half hour. It was fucking nuts. So that's what that whole clinkiness was about. Anyhow, that's it. The last thing that I wrote was about Stranger Things, and it will be a spoiler, so I'm not going to touch on that right now. And then there is this. This is where we back are. What? English. That might be it. I don't know. Thanks for listening. There are other shows I want to check out. I can't name them for you right now because my memory is dog shit. But there are a few more shows I want to check out, and I will, and of course, I'll talk about them. And eventually I'm going to bust the cap off on the Stranger Things spoiler, so we'll see. I still want to get one of my friends on here. I think that'll be a really good one. It'll happen eventually. I'll just keep talking about it. It's going to happen eventually. And there's a small chance I might record while I'm on the road. It might be noisy, might be a bit weird. We'll see. I don't know. But I would like to. Also on the road thing, I don't know. That one, I don't know what direction that's going to go in. It's really easy for that road podcast recording, whatever, to turn into all about wrestling. It's like way too easy. So who knows? I don't know if it'll happen or how, but that's that. And that's it. I don't know. Another day. I did it. We did it. If you made it this far, high five. Love you. Have a good day. Have a good week. Hugs and kisses. Thanks for listening. High five. Yeah, man. Yeah, I have a million more cliches in my head I didn't say, but you know what I mean? Fucking landlines. Don't shit on yourself. You know what I mean? Take care of yourself. Be happy. Love yourself. Go eat a pizza. Peace out.